Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today in this video, we are going to navigate the November 26 plan for the CA final exams. I know you must have gone through the May 26 analysis, the reviews and made up a plan for yourself for November 26. There are only 5 months left and I'm saying that it is only 5 months because the pattern of the exams are changing and you must have analyzed it from the Jan 26 as well as from the May 26 exam. So how to approach the November 26 exam? In this video, we are going to talk about that and what are the necessary things that you need to keep in mind before you start your preparation, because there are many hurdles that will come in your preparation, and to ensure that you do not fall because of those hurdles, I am making this video. I will be jotting down some important points that you need to keep in mind based on the analysis of Jan 26 and May 26 exam. So without wasting much time, let's start with the video. So as you can see on the screen, this is the November 26 plan that I have created for you. And before going on to the plan, let's analyze the Jan 26 as well as the May 26 paper. So for FR, you must have gone through the reviews and also analyzed the papers. The Jan 26 paper as well as the May 26 paper, both were average plus lengthy. So the pattern for FR remains the same, that the papers are on an average side, but they are lengthy to complete. So it becomes above average paper just because the papers are lengthy. The FR paper is manageable because the questions are repeated and you might find it easy to solve the paper. Just because it is lengthy, you might not be able to complete the paper. Now coming to the most talked about paper for May 26, and that is AFM. In Jan 26 also, it was an out of box paper, but it was still manageable as compared to May 26. So I will just rate it as tough for Jan 26, but for May 26, I do not have any words. Even the faculties do not have any words for the kind of paper it was. So for May 26, I have rated it at out of box. So the paper was such that you do not have to analyze it. You were not able to solve it or you could not solve it even if you had given everything for this paper. So it is an out of box paper, one of the most difficult paper in the entire history of CA finals. Now coming to the audit paper. Because the AFM papers were tough for Jan 26 as well as May 26, the audit paper were below average or average, I would say, because they had to make the paper easy so that students get some kind of confidence and they just focus on the next papers after that. So for that, I think so they made the paper average on an average side. So before Jan 26 for September, for May, the papers of audit were tough, but since in Jan 26 and in May 26, the AFM was one of the toughest papers, they made the audit paper average. So as you see in group 1, you will find one paper as difficult. Okay. Now coming to the group 2. DT paper, in our attempt, that is in my attempt, Jan 26, the paper was above average as well as in length. So there were some tricky questions and some were repeated ones, but they jumbled up the sequence. So the paper became above average as well as it was lengthy. You could not solve the entire paper in 3 hours. That was the kind of the paper. But in May 26, as per the reviews and all the students that told me that the paper was on an easier side, the MCQs were very easy and the theory paper was also on a easier side. So I have rated it as easy plus average because of MCQs and descriptive. Now coming to the IDT paper. In Jan 26, it was one of the most difficult paper. I would say it was out of the box. Like nobody had expected that this kind of paper will come for IDT, but it did came. And for May 26, it was above average. It was manageable as per the reviews. So it was above average. Yes, it was lengthy. Some students found it difficult. Some found it easy. So I would say it was an above average because there were students who found it difficult. Now coming to IBS. In Jan 26, it was one of the difficult papers and it is still the one of the difficult papers because in May 26, it was manageable. It was above average and IBS will always be above average. If I summarize the entire analysis, let's say Jan 26 was a 100% difficult paper, like it was out of the box. One of the new patterns emerged in Jan 26, like AFM became tough, IDT became tough, IBS is still one of the toughest. So if I take Jan 26 as the base for 100% difficulty, then May 26 was 95% difficult as per my analysis, because it's apart from AFM, which was out of the box, the rest of the papers were manageable. Like it was difficult but manageable. If you had done your preparation well, then you would have cleared it or you would have got some good marks or you would have attempted well. So now based on this analysis, if I say if Jan 26 was 100% difficult and the results were 10%, so I think so the results for May 26 will also go around 8 to 10%. If ICI gives grace marks or some bonus marks for AFM, then I will see the result coming to 8 to 9%. I don't think so. They will go around 7 to 6% result because that will only question ICI. So that is my analysis. Now coming to the November 26th. So you have seen how the papers are now. Like the difficulty level has increased because ICI has included one more thing, that is AI. So if there is AI, that means the papers will be difficult because they are able to ask questions from various areas that are not even tested before. So now how to approach? You have now 5 months left. Okay. The first and the foremost thing that you have to keep in mind that you have to do 100% question. And many teachers have started saying this, that you have to do 100% coverage after analyzing the Jan 26 and May 26. So I would just suggest that do not go for the ABC analysis right from the start. There is time for ABC when you have done everything, like you have done the entire revision 2 times. After that, for the third revision and in the 1.5 days, you have to go for ABC analysis. Other than that, you do not have to start with ABC. ABC is just to make sure that you cover the important chapters first and then leave the easiest chapter or the chapters which have a lesser chance of coming in your exam. But that doesn't mean you start with ABC. If you start with ABC, you will always skip the C chapters. And as per the trend, as per the pattern, ICI is testing more of the C category chapters. So just go with 100% question coverage. How to go about it, I will make a separate video of what you have to do for each subject. Like the strategy for each subject, I will make a different video on that. But currently, if you have started studying, if you have started revising, just do the entire thing for at least twice. 2 बार कर लो उसको, उसके बाद में ABC का वीडियोस देखो सबका, पर 2 बार पहले अपना चैप्टर्स करो. नाउ कमिंग टू द सेकंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, एंड ये हर फैकल्टीज बोलती है और हर फैकल्टीज ने अभी और चिल्ला चिल्ला के बोलने लग गए. वंस दे हैव सीन द AFM पेपर, हाउ दैट हैज कम, दे हैव नाउ रियलाइज्ड दैट formula mugging and question mugging will not work, just because AI has introduced new type of testing the questions. So because of this, the most important thing that you can do to make sure that your preparation is very solid, that you go with conceptual understanding. And what I mean by conceptual understanding, let us understand this. Okay. Conceptual understanding means that you know each and everything for a question. Okay. So let's say you are talking about slump sale, okay, in direct price. So you must know कि fair value of consideration में कौन से 2 parts हैं, okay, और उसके अंदर कौन कौन से points हैं. Like immovable property के लिए क्या point है, then coming to quoted shares, unquoted shares, what are the points that are there that you need to keep in mind. Now coming to the next part, that is cost of acquisition. Cost of acquisition में कौन से points है, where you have to take the WDV, where you do not have to take the WDV, and what things you have to skip, like revaluation you have to skip. All these things is a concept. Okay, you might not find a question related to this concept. Still, because this concept is very popular, so you will find different kind of question. But understand this: if a new question comes, you need to know कि FEOC में ये 2 points ही है. इससे रिलेटेड ही तुमको सब कुछ सॉल्व करना है. कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन में किसमें WDV लेना है, किसमें नहीं लेना, वही तुमको याद रहना चाहिए. अदर देन दैट यू डू नॉट हैव टू थिंक ऑफ अदर थिंग्स. वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड कि कॉन्सेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्या होती है, then you will be able to do your preparation very well. And this is what concept means. If I ask you a new random question, you must think of the entire question in this logic only. कि fair value of consideration मुझे निकालना है, cost of acquisition मुझे निकालना है, उसके बाद में मेरे को आ जाएगा long term या short term capital gains depending on the term. That is it. So once you understand कि conceptual understanding से ही paper लिखा जाएगा, then only you will be able to prepare well. Now coming to the third point, and this is one of the most underrated as well as left out point by all the students. Like why mock test is important, and let's come to the which series you have to take. I will talk about that. But why mock test is important? First of all, understand this: whatever you have done here in the first and the second point, that will be tested in the third point. Once you understand कि मुझे अपने preparation को test करना है, उसको evaluate करना है कि मैंने पिछले 15 दिन या पिछले 10 दिन what I have studied, I have to test that. That will be done only if you give mock test. And first of all, you have to understand कि mock test का ये मतलब नहीं है कि उसमें जितने मार्क्स आएंगे उतने ही तुम्हारे एग्जाम में मार्क्स आएंगे. That is not the meaning of mock test. Mock test means whatever you have done, prepared for the last 15 days, you are now just making sure that you are able to write it in a 3-hour paper. That's it. Whatever the marks might be, if you get 40 or if you get 80, it does not matter, because in mock test you have to just make sure that you are able to write the questions, analyze the questions and answer it in that pressure. The most important thing for a CA final exam, that how you handle pressure is the most important. So for that you have to give mock test, and minimum you have to give 2 mock test minimum. अगर आपको अपनी 100% प्रिपरेशन करनी है तो आपको मॉक टेस्ट एटलीस्ट 2 देने पड़ेंगे. I gave 2 mock tests for some subjects, 3 mock tests for some subjects, but I did give 2 mock tests. One mock test will make you understand that मुझे कहाँ गलती हो रही है. Okay? The second will help you to improve from those mistakes. And if you are able to give the third, that is fine. Like the third will let you understand that now you are prepared. So that is why 3 mock tests are important. If you are able to give only 2, that is fine, but you have to give 2 mock tests. And which series you have to take? The only series that I will recommend is AIR 1P series. So there is a mock test series conducted by AIR 1 to faculties, that is Ajay and Atul Agarwal. This is not sponsored or anything, but I had given many mock tests from many faculties, and after doing that and after giving those mock tests, I have realized that only AR1 mock tests are equivalent to the CA final exam. That will test you properly that your preparation is going well or it is not going. So if you are purchasing some mock tests, only purchase AR1 mock test, though they are costly, but they are very worth it. So make sure that you only purchase the AR1 mock test. Now coming to the 4th point, and that is how to do the new question practice. And the only solution is that you do use AI. First of all, before going to AI, just do the RTPs and the MTPs of your attempt as well as the past 2 attempts. Because from Jan 26, even from September 25, the questions have become very, very tricky. So if you go through the RTPs, you will realize that the questions are tricky and they have some knowledge that you have to apply. So that is why first go through the RTPs, MTPs, and then after that, if you have time and if you want to practice new questions, use AI. The best way, the best solution to tackle new questions is to use AI. Because if you have the pro version, the knowledge is similar to the question paper. Like you will get difficult questions if you ask them a good prompt. And I am thinking to make a bot or a website that can test this. The idea is there, but let's see if I am able to conduct it. But the only way you can do this is using it. Other than that, you have to give your 100% on whatever you know. That is the only strategy that is there for new question. जितना आता है उतना तो पहले समझ लो, जितना तुमको बुक में दिया है उतना कर लो. And if a paper like AFM comes, then it is nothing that you can do. Like it is your luck that did not support you. That's the only thing that you can do after that. Now coming to the 5th and the most important one. Like this is your preparation. The 4 points are your preparation. But what is this about? What you have to prepare your mind about? You have to prepare your mind about the 1.5 days. That's it. The 1.5 days will be a nightmare for you guys. And those who have given their paper for the past attempt or those who have given multiple attempts, ask them. The 1.5 days will break you, and papers like AFM are the papers that actually break you. And how to overcome those papers, how to give the next paper after giving such kind of paper, that will mentally test you. And that is the only reason the results are 10% and not 15, 20, 25, 50%. The only reason is that the papers, even though they are tough, you have to focus on the next paper. After giving the AFM May 26 paper, many students did not give the audit paper just because they thought मेरा first group चला गया, अब मैं paper ही नहीं देगा. But the paper came on an easier side, average paper. You could have scored 60 in this paper. Yes, I know your target is कि FR में 60 लेके आएंगे, AFM में 60 लेके आएंगे and audit में 40 लेके आएंगे. This strategy will not even work from now. You have to focus 60 for this, 60 for this, 60 for this, 60 for each paper. If you are not studying like that, you are not going to pass, or you will find it difficult to even survive the 1.5 days because they are a nightmare and you have to prepare your mind for it. And how you can prepare your mind for it, there are only 2 or 3 things that you can do is start meditating, start being in the present. I have been telling you from the past few months, if you are subscribed to this channel, that these two things are the most important. Meditate in any which way you want. You do yoga, do anything, but you have to meditate and you have to start being in the. And now coming to the last point, the strategy for each subject. I will be making a video for that. How to approach each subject, how to do it at least 3 times. I did the entire 3 division in 3.5 months. So if you have 4 months or 5 months, you can actually do 4 to 5 revisions. So how to do that, how to approach each subject, how to approach IBS, the nightmare for everyone. That video will be coming as we go on. So that's it from this video. I think so you must have learned a lot from this video. If you have liked this video, do subscribe to this channel and do join the Telegram channel from the link in the description. I will be giving you some important tips, points, and all the notes that I am going to make from the next videos in that Telegram channel. So do join the Telegram channel. And I think so now you have understood that from Jan 26, the pattern has changed and now you have to prepare more, give your best, and you have no chances or no leeway or anything that you do not give you 100% and you will be able to clear this exam. So give your best and start studying from right on. And if you have not completed your lectures, make sure that you complete in 1 month and start revising, because 4 months are not enough once you start revising. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care, study well, and bye-bye.